rather. Let's look at this agreement as it's stated. So I think one of the big red flashing lights of this agreement is there was a lot of versions of this. The most recent version was in May of this year, obviously, but the one before that, version 3, was in February 2024. And into this, it talks about, it's a pandemic agreement. It's just, help stop pandemics. So in February 2024, this was a major priority for the WHO and really for the world, which was the gain of function research. So you go into this document and it says this: they want all countries signing on to this to monitor all types of genetic research, including gain of function research and big data analysis associated with highly transmissible pathogens, and alert the scientific community of biosecurity concerns. It also says that they want to supervise research involving pandemic potential pathogens, including genetic engineering and gain of function research, with the view of avoiding biosafety and biosecurity concerns. So obviously a big deal. We know now that I think the consensus is really the COVID pandemic was lab. A lot of the gain of function and a lot of the initial work was done in labs in the United States. It was shipped over. It was given funding by NIH to really expand out in Wuhan, and the rest of this is history. Now we look at the new pandemic agreement. You would think this would be a big deal for them. They took it out. It's not in there anywhere. You do a keyword search for gain of function, biosafety, biosecurity. You're not finding these words. So they're giving a green light to gain of function, essentially. But what is in the new document? If you go in there, this is what it looks like. You read this: the parties recognize that the WHO pandemic agreement and the international health regulations 2005 and other relevant international agreements should be interpreted so as to be compatible. So the Trojan horse of the pandemic agreement is letting in these IHRs, is letting in all the other relevant international agreements that are legally binding. We're going to let all of those in when you rubber stamp this. So and international health regulations are basically for preventing, all these regulations preventing the spread across the world of infectious diseases, not just pandemics, but it's a whole other can of worms. But it also says this in there. You go into the pandemic agreement that is now adopted. It says each party shall, as appropriate, take measures to strengthen science, public health, and pandemic literacy in the population. So every population should trust the science. The government should make sure they trust the science, and they should really expand pandemic literacy. Bureaucratic speak,